Ever really stop to think about words like a, the, my, or some? What are they actually doing in our sentences? Well, today we're diving into determiners, and trust me, they're the unsung heroes of grammar. They might be small, but they pack a serious punch when it comes to making our language clear and specific. I'm guessing this hits home for a lot of you, right? Determiners can feel like this random collection of annoying rules just designed to trip you up. But I promise you, by the end of this, we're going to untangle that knot. You'll see there's actually a pretty simple logic behind it all. So what are they really? The easiest way to think about them is like this. They're little signposts that you plant right in front of a noun. They signal really important info like, are we talking about a book, the book, my book, or maybe many books?
And that right there is their main job, bringing precision and clarity to everything we say. These are the little words that can take a super vague idea like dog and turn it into a very specific one, like that dog. Okay, so let's get into how they actually do it.
Here's our game plan. First, we're going to meet the whole determiner family, the main categories. Then we'll dive into the rules for articles, which I know can be tricky. After that, we'll talk about words for pointing and possessing, and then counting and distributing. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about why getting these little words right makes such a huge difference.
All right, let's start with the big picture. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty rules, we need to meet the main players. Think of this as a quick introduction to the whole determiner family.
See, we can group them into a few different types, and each one has a very specific job to do. You've got your articles, your demonstratives for pointing things out, possessives to show who owns what, quantifiers for amounts, numbers for, well, counting, and distributives for sharing things out in a group.
You know what? This table is basically our cheat sheet for the whole explainer. It lays out every single type, tells you what it does, and gives you a couple of key examples. This is the foundation we're going to be building on.
So let's start building on that foundation, and we'll begin with articles. These guys, a, an, and the, are probably the most common determiners out there, but oh man, they are the source of so much confusion. Let's clear it up once and for all.
Okay, the one big rule you need to remember is all about being specific. We use a or an when we're talking about something general or mentioning it for the very first time. Like, I saw a dog. Could be any dog in the world. But if I talk about it again, I'd say, I saw the dog. See? Now we're talking about a specific dog that we both know about.
Now here's the little rule that trips so many people up. It's all about the sound, not the letter it's spelled with. That's why we say a university. The word university starts with that y sound, which is a consonant. And we say an honest man because the H is totally silent, so the word actually starts with a vowel sound.
Okay, let's move on to two more types. Demonstratives, which are all about pointing things out, and possessives, which show who owns something.
You're going to love how simple this is. The logic for demonstratives really just comes down to location. Is it close to you? Use this for one thing or these for a bunch of things. Is it farther away? Use that for one or those for many. It's literally just pointing with your words. Simple as that.
And possessives are just as straightforward. They just show who owns something. Words like my, your, his, her, its, our, and their tell you exactly who an item belongs to. And they always stand right in front of the noun, making it super clear. Those aren't just any books, they're her books.
Next up, let's tackle the determiners that help us talk about amounts and how things are spread out. This is where we get into words that define quantity and how things are shared in a group. Now these can be a little bit tricky, so let's break them down carefully. Okay, here's a classic point of confusion. The difference between little, a little, and the little. Little on its own feels kind of negative. It means almost none. I have little time. A little is more positive. It means you have some. I have a little time. And the little refers to all of the small amount you have. I used the little time I had to finish. It's a subtle difference, but it completely changes the meaning. Quantifiers do exactly what it sounds like they do. They quantify things. The trick here is knowing if your noun is countable, like friends, or uncountable, like water. You'd say many friends, but you'd say much water. And then some, like all or a lot of, are super flexible and work with both.
So what's the real deal with each versus every? It all comes down to focus. You use each when you want to zoom in on the individual members of a group, like talking about each guest at a small party. But you use every for a broader, more general statement about all the members, like every house on the street. Okay, we've gone through a lot of rules, but why does any of this matter?
Why should you care? Let's bring it all together and see how this grammar connects to the real world. Well, the thing is, you use them constantly, in almost every single sentence you speak or write. Without determiners, our communication would just fall apart into a vague, confusing mess.
At the end of the day, determiners are the tools we use to make our language precise. They take a general idea and make it specific. Is it just some students, or is it many students? Is it my house or their house? Getting these right is absolutely fundamental to being understood, whether you're writing an email or just talking to a friend.
So really, this isn't just about passing a grammar test or something. It's about empowering yourself to communicate with more confidence and precision, making sure that what you want to say is exactly what people hear.
And on that note, I'll leave you with a little challenge. Take a look at the question on this slide right here. How many determiners can you spot? Think you've got it?